Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing this look right here. I would say that it's a very natural, simple, easy, everyday go-to look. It's what I've been doing the last couple of months for work and everything, and it takes no more than a couple of minutes to do. So this has been my new favorite look for the last few months, like I just said. So if you would like to see how to get this look right here, then go ahead and just keep on watching. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to prime my face. I use the Rimmel Stay Matte Primer, and this is just what I found that works best for my skin and keeps me the most matte. Alright, so I take about a pea size, just like that, nothing crazy, and I place it on my forehead, my cheeks, my chin, my nose, and then whatever is left on my finger I just kind of rub in, and I just use it with the rest and rub everything in. Alright, and I rub that in until it is all mixed in and there's no white. It doesn't get, I wouldn't say it gets super tacky, but a little bit. Nothing too crazy. Sometimes when they get too tacky or too sticky, then sometimes it makes me a little bit dry, and I definitely don't need that. Once I'm all primed, I go ahead and I take my damp beauty sponge. I think this is just from Walmart. You have to excuse me, I'm filming on my phone today instead of my camera, and so I don't know, the lens is somewhere over here, but I keep looking at myself, so I'm gonna be switching back and forth. So next I do my foundation, and I use the Dior Backstage foundation. I love this foundation. I have nothing negative to say about it. I just love it. It's not too dewy, it's not too matte. I think it is just perfect. It doesn't break up on my skin throughout the day, which I've had with a lot of foundations, so I have nothing negative to say about this. And I'm also in the shade 3N, in case you're curious. Then I just take some of that and I plop it right on the back, right on the puffy part. And then what I actually do is I'll take my finger and just kind of dab it around, and then whatever I pick up on my finger, I just kind of swipe onto my face. I also wouldn't say that this is a super full coverage foundation by any means, but I'd say it's definitely buildable. And it doesn't ever leave me cakey, and I just love it. Alright, so now I go ahead and I blend that in, buff that all over. Okay, I had to put my hair up or it was going to be all over. Okay, so I just blend that out, and I take it onto my eyelids. I know a lot of people don't take their foundation onto their eyelids, but I do for this kind of look. I also go ahead and I drag it down my neck and just blend it onto my neck so that I don't have a harsh line. Once that is all blended out, I go ahead and I look and see if I want it to be a little bit fuller coverage anywhere. And if so, then I go ahead and I just put a tiny bit more on the back of this beauty sponge. And then I go ahead and I just pounce it right into the spots where I want it to be a little bit more full coverage. So right here next to my nose, I'm a little red, so I'll pounce it there. Right here. And then on my chin a little bit. And typically I only have to go in one other time to build it up to as much full coverage as I want it to be. Otherwise, it usually looks pretty good with just the first round. But if you're a little bit red or have some acne that you want to cover up, then going in a second time definitely helps. Once I have my foundation on, I go ahead and I take my concealer. I'm using the Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Light Medium Honey. And all I do is put it underneath my eyes just to brighten them up and cover up any bags that I have. I also don't use very much because this is a very thick full coverage concealer, and so a little bit goes a long ways. All right, and then I just take my sponge and I go ahead and I blend that out. I also take this on top of my eyelids as well. You don't have to, but I do, just to kind of blend everything in just a little bit better. Alright, once I have my concealer all blended in, I go ahead and I take my Laura Mercier translucent powder and I take my damp beauty sponge and I just dip it right in there. I pick up about that much. And I go ahead and I set my under eyes. And I go ahead and I buff this into my skin. I don't let it sit and bake because I found that sometimes when I do that, it makes me pretty dry. So I think that it works best for me when I go ahead and I blend it all the way into my skin until it has melted into my skin. Go ahead and pick up some more and do the other side. Alright, and then I just take a tiny bit, not a ton, and I go ahead and I just set the rest of my face. This will make it a lot easier when I apply my bronzer and my blush, and I don't even know if I'm looking at the lens or not. I think it's right there. I can't tell. So I go ahead and I apply it right here first because I tend to notice that that's where, like right in this area, it wears off the fastest for me throughout the day because I sit like this or I rest my hand on my face. And so I really like to set this area of my face and my chin the most so that it doesn't wear off quite as quick. And I just go ahead and I set my whole face. Alright, so once I have all of that done, then it is time to move on to bronzer. Alright, next I go ahead and I apply my bronzer. I use the Too Faced Chocolate Bronzer in the shade Medium. Oh, it smells so good. And I just take it on a big fluffy brush. This is the Morphe E2, and I go ahead and I just dip it in there, tap off the extra, and then I just go ahead and I bronze up my face. Tastes like chocolate too. And I go ahead and I take it up and bronze up my forehead and the temples on my forehead. Once I'm done with bronzer, I go ahead and I apply blush. And for blush, I use the Morphe 9N palette. Comes with all these different shades. I think that this is the perfect blush palette. Typically, I go in with the shade on the far right. So I go ahead and I take my brush and I just dip it in there, swirl it around, tap off the extra, and place it on the apples of my cheeks. Sometimes to like add some color back into my face, I'll go ahead and I'll put it on my chin and the center of my forehead and a little bit on the bridge of my nose, just to add a little bit more color back into my face, because sometimes it can get a little lost with the bronzer and everything. Alright, once I'm done with blush, I go ahead and I take my Maybelline Master Precise Skinny eyeliner and I go ahead and I just line my lower lash line. and poke myself in the eye a few times. Alright, once your eyeliner is on, go ahead and take your mascara and go ahead and put that on. Alright, once you are done with mascara, the look is pretty much over. I go ahead and I take my little spoolie and I brush through my eyebrows. I don't fill them in or anything because it just, I don't know, that's not something I need to do on an everyday basis. So go ahead and brush through those, make sure that you get them the way that you want them, and then you're done. Then I go ahead and I take my Morphe setting spray and then I just set my face. Let that dry and you're good to go. One thing I've noticed with my Morphe setting spray is that I don't want to use too much. The very first time that I used it, I did not like it. I thought that it was too dewy, and so I usually need to be matte all day long, otherwise I'm an oil slick. So I didn't really like it at the beginning. I keep looking at the camera even though I think I'm looking at the lens. I didn't really like it in the beginning because I thought that it made me look oily, but I've noticed that with this foundation, and maybe it's the time of the weather too because it's winter here. We just had a huge blizzard today. We got 15 inches of snow, so but maybe with the weather also, I've noticed that that has become my favorite setting spray. I also don't use very much. I think that if you use too much, then it can kind of make you look a little bit not greasy, oily, but if you're going for a dewy look, then the more the merrier. So yeah, otherwise this is the completed look. It's very simple, it's an everyday easy look, and it's easy to do as well. Alright, so here is the finished look. It's very simple. I don't think it's anything too over the top. I think it's great for an everyday get ready look. So if you liked this look and enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button down at the bottom. Thanks, bye. Alright, once my foundation is on and I like it the way that I want it, it's as full coverage as I want it and everything, I go ahead and I take my Laura Mercier translucent powder and I just dip my damp beauty sponge. Oh no, I don't. Your girl messed up. Alright, once I have my... Okay. Night! Love you too! Alright, once you're at... Where the frick is the lens? It's very simple. It's nothing too over the top. I think it's... Blah, blah, blah. Hello, everybody. No, that's stupid. Hey guys, welcome. What am I looking at? I'm looking at the... Say something. It's been a while since I've done this. Okay, get it done over with because you got 2 videos to film. Okay, this is just gonna be a video of me playing with my hair for 1.5 minutes straight. Okay, so I'm using my phone today to record instead of my camera, and so I keep looking at myself even though the camera's somewhere over here. I'm not quite sure. I don't know. But so I'm probably gonna be looking at myself the whole time and not the camera or the lens.